All right. Hello, welcome to the show. That's right. That's another variation of an original thing that about 25 years ago for the show. I had all these songs in a box, on tapes in the box, and I finally found it. And there's another variation of this thing. This had more special effects in the background. You can imagine TIE fighters flying through and stuff like that. The main reason I'm saying that is we were supposed to present a brand new talk show. Not talk show, that's a variation. And I was supposed to upload those songs. I'm gonna wait until after this show plays. So you can hear that tune in the background. I'm talking. You hear a little bit, right? Okay. And then that show will premiere. In the meantime, what we did was, not one, but two, but three shows. I did two solo Black Talk radio shows, and me and Mark finally did that Saturday show on Talk Show. Okay, that's like I said, that's the variation of talk show, but they call it talk show. And we did that last Saturday from 1 to 2. It was just boom in the moment. We did it with lines. So that show's playing right now. Okay, so now all that original music will be done. The next step is we're gonna do that talk show on the music show. Okay, but if you want to hear the songs already uploaded on SoundCloud. Now, how you get to SoundCloud? Well, very easy. You can go to the website, or for now on, what I suggest is tune in to our blog talk. To our blog. Let's bring that up. Let's go to our blog, and so it's much easier to explain. Okay. Every day, this blog is inputted daily. Basically, I put all the favorite links, news. As a matter of fact, on Friday, Roddy died at 61 years old, and it's an actual interview that he did last week. It's a 13-minute video where he did an interview on a sports show. I put that link up, and then Saturday we had an update. Mission Impossible is doing really good at the box of 50 million. Now, if you want to go to our websites, that's looking at the right-hand side. It says Videoland Express. That's the link, and that is that logo. Don't forget that logo represents Videoland Express. And then you go straight down, you will see the radio shows. Okay, remember that is talk show, not talk show. It's produced by English guys over in Britain, kind of British. At least the owner is British, and so that's his little slang for talk show. We have the past episodes. That's me and Mark. It's playing there right now. You can click on that widget. The music show will premiere this coming week. I want you guys to hear that theme, okay? And then, of course, my daily show, Black Talk Radio. I did 3 shows. The Big Catch-Up Show, Jurassic Park Top 3 of All Time. And there's another show up there somewhere. It's not showing, but trust me. Since the last time we were here, we did those 3 shows. And to get to the SoundCloud, you just go right back on top to VideolandExpress.com, and there will be a link on to SoundCloud. Now, this blog will be changing some things around in the next couple weeks. Okay. So the main reason I'm saying that is because we have 3 more shows, and then we're going to go monthly. Going into the end of the year. And so let's go more news and more box office. Let's go straight to that. So I got my reading glasses on, so let's get to that. So basically, what's going to happen is I'm going to add some more links to that blog. But basically, that's the site you should actually bookmark, okay? Because the website I only upload and update it once, twice a month. That's it. The blog is daily. So whatever goes on, you go straight to that news there. And anything goes on, Monday I will post it, Tuesday, etc. like that. So box office is official. Jurassic World has beaten everybody at number 3 all-time box office. And believe it or not, it was only 30 million away from taking out Titanic U.S. domestically. But will it do that? Nah, it's cooling out finally. Everybody's basically heading to the beach after Mission Impossible. Now, Mark was supposed to be here today. He saw the movie. He loved it. He thought it was great. Me, instead, I saw Lego documentary. Believe it or not. I got somebody offered me a free pass, so I had to see that. I'll talk more about that. But for me, the only 2 other movies will be Fantastic Four and Man from U.N.C.L.E. in August, and everybody's got the same point of view. Let's go to the beach, have a last, picnics and barbecues and stuff like that. There's no promotion for these 2 films coming up. There's no word of mouth or anything. They did have an advance preview for Fantastic Four got mixed results, and the studio's not happy with that. So it looks like we're having a bomb. So what I finally did catch up with Pixels, Adam Sandler. I did say that was going to be a bomb, and guess what? Sony's ready to cancel his contract, but that is bombing all over the place. It's almost on the bottom of the top 10 already. It's only been out for 2 weeks. Not a good sign. It couldn't even premiere #1. Okay, Ant-Man premiered #1. It stayed at #1 for 2 weeks. Sandler had to settle for second place. Now it's number 5th or 6th in the box office. It should be gone by next week. Of course, he got that contract with Netflix. He's going to do that Western, which already got bad reviews. And the only thing I can say about that, I say a lot more on Block Talk Radio. So you want me to talk more about Pixels? Go over there. And let me tell you, he's going straight to TV sitcom hell. He's going straight to TV. His career is basically over. Netflix is going to try to save it. Don't be surprised you see him doing like, what's that? I'll name any sitcom on TV. That's where he's going, okay? Ant-Man, I finally managed to catch up. The thing that bothered me about Ant-Man was there was too many rewrites. You could tell the script was so rewritten. Even Michael Douglas said, I had a bigger part. It got cut down into nothing. All of a sudden I had a flashback, which was not an original script. Okay? And talking about red flagging, when I see a movie, it's not because I've been personally trained. I got a background of working in movies and TV. As a matter of fact, celebrating 25 years, somebody was asking me, where did you get your start? Okay, I'll be talking more about Block Talk Radio because we don't have that much time. But I started as a PA intern. Okay, I don't know if you can see the Ricky Lake Show. Remember that? Yeah, I was one of the staff. Actually, a PA. Was a personal administration. I was intern. That's how I got my start there. And then eventually I came to M&N, and I've been here for the past 25 years. So a little background information. And along the way, I trained on different things. Like I said, worked as an actor, background work. I was an I Am Legend. I was in, the last show was Blacklist, okay. Study a bunch of different things, especially script. Even though I never wrote a script, I don't plan to write a script. Even though I do a blog, because it takes a lot of time. If you see a lot of famous actors, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, they got an Academy Award for scripts. They never go back. The only person I know who actually got an award was Sylvester Stallone, and he still writes the scripts like for Expendables. Most people, once they become actors, they never go back to script writing. It is hard to actually write a good script. But I've been certified as an editor. Now, does that bother me when I see a movie? No. J-World had a bunch of little goofs in there. For example, the guy's looking for his helicopter pilot. And they said, well, never mind him. He's probably doing evacuation work. I'm going, what? He's supposed to be behind the helicopter. That's his job as a helicopter pilot. And I said, no, I'll drive the helicopter instead. Same thing would happen with San Andreas. At the end, The Rock went and said, okay, at the very end, he saves his family and said, what are we going to do now? We're going to rebuild. And then he walks away. Somebody should have said, yo, dude, Rock, you've been a certified rescuer, okay? We found your helicopter, get back in the helicopter, and start rescuing people. San Fran is basically under the water. And, that's the way it should have ended. That's right. I'm going to go and back. I saved my family. I'm going to go right back into that city and save more people. I thought that was a big blooper, okay? But if a movie like J-World just moves it along, and that's a very cool secret of Steven Spielberg, before anybody sits there and thinks about the element, cut to the next scene. That's an editing thing, and that's a lot of people do that with movies nowadays. Before anybody thinks about it, like, that scene doesn't seem like, cut, next scene. So, you want to know what really is a really bad movie? That's the flags show up all over the place. Steven Spielberg's The Lost World. None of that. That's got to be the most illogical movie on the planet. Nothing makes sense. I could do a whole half-hour show. I could do 2 hours on that movie. Okay, just look at it and you go, wait a second. They're looking inside the boat, the big boat, right? And they're looking in the cabin, or the pilot, with the driver and stuff like that. And the wheel's about this big, and they look inside the door, and the door entrance is big. Okay, and his hand is hanging on the steering wheel, just the hand. So that means one of the dinosaurs must have got to one of the crewmen. Okay, we find out what's on the boat. A big giant T-Rex. How the hell they stick his big head inside a little door to jump on the guy there? Completely illogical. And of course, she's supposed to be so smart about dinosaurs, right? The part about Julie Moore, and she leaves a jacket full of dinosaur blood hanging right on the top of the tent. Hello, neon sign. Hello, dinosaur. We right over here. Completely dumb. So if you want to know what not to do by an expert like Steven Spielberg, check out The Lost World. Completely illogical. Spock would have headaches for days if he watched that, saw that movie. Now, talk about The Rock. Okay, I'm kind of leading into this. Yesterday, we found out that Roddy Piper passed away. Now, The Rock was kind of pushing a John Carpenter film called The Big Trouble in Little China. That was a film that was done in the 80s. It's a kind of film that stays in a time capsule. It cannot be redone. You know, it's a certain, the hair, the clothes, the style, everything about the movie says, I'm stuck in the 80s. There's no way you can bring it over here, okay, except maybe by title itself. Okay, it's a really far-fetched fantasy. John Carpenter, well, one of my favorite films of all time he did is The Thing. Okay, and this is a movie already as a remake, believe it or not. The original picture was The Thing from Another World, which was done back in the late 1950s black and white movie. And he, because of the ratings, you know, you could not do anything explicit or violent. So they took the original story and they made the monster into a big giant carrot. That's the only thing they could do with it, okay? So John Carpenter, he went to the original story, which was published about late 1940s or early 1950s. So the studio at that time, they couldn't make this creature that evolves and changes into different forms and life forms and everything like that. It would have been too gross. John Carpenter went to the original story, and this is how the thing actually, it stuck to the original story, to the original article that was written back in late 40s, early 50s. So this was kind of a remake, but a remake going back to the original source of material. So this is a good remake, and John Carpenter did such a great job with Kurt Russell. Well, John Carpenter did a movie with Roddy Piper called They Live, okay? And it was a whole stab against to Reaganomics. You know, President Reagan was, the president back in the 1980s. And that was John Carpenter being a Democrat. And, you know, he took a lot of position of Reagan. You know, the best science fiction is when you create the better. Let me see. Twilight Zone, perfect example. Twilight Zone. Rod Serling back in the 1950s. There was a lot of political things going on. One was the McCarthy era, where McCarthy, some senator decided to point fingers at this guy is a communist, this guy is against the country. The guy was a headhunter, okay, and a lot of people suffered for it. Rod Serling created Twilight Zone and was one of the main writers. What he decided to do, I'm going to attack McCarthy, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to hide it as under science fiction. And that's the best way to present something political without getting, the fingers back pointed at you. You put that science fiction. If you look at a lot of Twilight Zone episodes, one of the episodes, I forgot the name, they said, this guy is an alien. He's from outer space. He's not one of us, but you have to prove it. And that was Rod Serling saying this guy is actually a communist. But we can't say that, so let's call him an alien. And that's how he wrote a lot of those political things, hiding under science fiction. Well, that was with the picture he made with Roddy Piper called They Live. If you go to Facebook and Twitter and Google, which I happen to be part of, they posted those pictures all over the place. And the good thing about it, they came out with a special edition last year. John Carpenter and Roddy Piper do a commentary on it. And there's a lot of bonus features, behind the scenes making of on that disc. Shot Factory, they got the hold of the rights to redo the disc. The disc came out on DVD maybe like 10 years earlier, and they did a messed up job. The only good thing they did was the commentary. Shot Factory redid it on Blu-ray. They made a nice sharp picture. They cleared the voices up. The commentary is not nice and sharp, but you can hear it a lot better on the 7.1 system. So they did a great job on mastering. So that's another picture I recommend. Roddy Piper also did a film I saw this morning called Hell Comes to Frogtown. Oh God, bad sci-fi. Just think of Sci-Fi Channel. His name is Sam Hell, and it's there's mutants that look like frogs. and it takes place in the future. It's really sci-fi bad. But the good thing about the movie is everybody's in that joke. Roddy Piper, his whole expression, as soon as this movie's done, I'm going to fire my agent. Okay? He's got this one look in his face, like really pissed off at his agent. But I saw that this morning just to refresh my memory. So if you want to see a good goof, the film goofs on itself. It knows it's a bad movie. If Hell Comes to Frogtown, and the other movie is They Live. So that's my little thing for Roddy Piper. Also, They Live, a little trivia. In the thing, well, most of there's hardly any survivors besides Kurt Russell and Keith David. The black dude, and the black dude has a big fight with Roddy Piper that lasts over 5 minutes. It only supposed to last 30 seconds, but the fight was so good that John Carpenter kept the whole 5-minute fight scene inside the movie, believe it or not. And they practiced that for 3 weeks, and that goes down in history as one of the biggest mano fights. That's how the movie gets its recognition as a cult classic. So again, check it out. It's called They Live, directed by John Carpenter. Okay, next. One more trivia I forgot. See, this movie has a lot of trivia. It has the classic line, and Roddy Piper came up with this line on the spot. He improv. And I think this another line that goes down in history, like we need a bigger boat. And his classic line is, I've come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm a whole lot of bubblegum. And that's a line that that showed up in 2 other places. It showed up in a video game called Duke Nukem in 3D back in 1996. And it showed up in a movie called The Stand-Up Guys. Back in 2012, starring Al Pacino and Christopher Walken at the end of the rope to mafioso guys. Okay, it's called Stand Up Guys, and near the end of the movie, Christopher Walken says that line. Nobody realized it because nobody saw the movie. That movie went downhill. A big disappointment. Okay, you want to see a bunch of mob guys end of the rope, wasted talent, poorly directed, poorly written, missed opportunity. It's a shame, but you want to see opportunity. Christopher Walken in one picture, Stand Up Guys. Okay, I meant to get through my list here, not bad. Okay, because I got some top 10. If I don't get to this or finish this, it will be on the blog. Okay, the Blog Talk Radio, and that's going to be the big surprise for which I should have said on top of the show, but I said now. For the rest of the month of August, on my Blog Talk Radio, I'll be going through my top 5 lists of my favorite movies, favorite themes, favorite actors, and stuff like that. I'll wait get to know me after 25 years seeing me. Anyway, let's me review. Okay, what I got? I got a couple things here I want to show you. Okay. Now, last week I mentioned The Death of Superman, or should I say the last show. There's a companionship book to it. Superman vs. Hollywood, How Finished Producers, Devious Directors, and Roaring Writers Grounded an American Icon by Jake Rosen. I presented this book quite a few times on the show. Excellent book. He interviews everybody, and everybody agrees John Peters was basically a whack job. If you see the movie, he thinks he's a filmmaker. He started as a hairdresser for Barbra Streisand. And she got him in touch with a few people, and it went to his head. All of a sudden, he thought he was the hot shit producer of all time. Basically, the guy's a whack job. And I mentioned that on the Blog Talk Radio about Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man. Ivan Barrett, the producer, and remember he said last year that there's no way Disney was going to get a hold of Spider-Man. He came up with that attitude, I'm going to huff and puff and blow your house down. I own Spider-Man, Disney would never own it. Long story short, the stockholders. A-Pump stockholders, Spider-Man is going to make $1 billion. Spider-Man tanked at $700 million. Well, how can you say that? Well, very simple. The movie cost $500 million, including advertising and marketing costs. You only have $200 million profit. Well, that $200 million will go into the next Spider-Man, right? Then who's going to come up with the advertising money? The advertising and marketing costs alone can cost anywhere from $100, $150 to $200 million. So the stockholders heard that and said, wait a second. So we got $200 million to make the next Spider-Man. We have no other money to make any other picture, and we still got to come up with another $150 to $200 million to market the next Spider-Man. And they said, guess what? Disney's going to get a hold of it. The stockholders said, you promised us $1 billion. Dark Knight did it. Marvel did it. Iron Man 3, which has got to be one of the worst superhero movies of all time, that did it. But you couldn't promise us Spider-Man? And that's when the deal went through. And Disney knew this. Disney said, we're going to sit back and we're not going to do anything because the idiots in Sony do not know what they're doing. And sure enough, they made an agreement that Spider-Man is going to be in the next Avenger movies. I believe it's Civil War. So that is politics, okay? The stockholders have the final say why a movie is not going to be made, okay? And that's why they canceled it. And that's what's happening with the death of Superman. They have a person like John Peters think, well, I'm going to do it my way, and I'm going to, and the studio said, okay, enough is enough. Especially when he wanted Spider-Man to end the movie, the Superman movie. He wanted to end it with a big giant spider, and everybody said, "Excuse us, what? This is Superman. He's got to fight people from Kryptonite, General Zod, Brainiac. What are you talking about, a spider? Nah, he's going to fight a giant spider because a giant spider is the most scariest thing on the planet." That's when they said, okay, loco, hoo, 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 hoo. Okay, and they canceled the project. The Death of Superman explains all that. Okay, I did say before in the last time, it has all the interviews except for Nicolas Cage because he didn't want to burn anybody's bridges. He's bankrupt, so he's got to do one picture after another. He didn't want to get involved. But it is footage of him being the Superman outfit. They do interview Tim Burton, everybody else associated, and they interview John Peters, being self-righteous, saying, I think I know what I'm doing. Well, whatever. Okay. So let me get to the next documentary, Lego documentary. This was such a cool picture about the whole, one of the most popular toys. They call it toys, but let me tell you, you can look at this documentary one way or another. You can look at it as a big 90-minute commercial for Lego toys, or how the whole Lego industry affects everybody involved. Okay, how would I explain that? Well, it goes to show you, well, without spoiling the whole movie, the first half, you have, I forget the name of the basketball player, Ed Sheehan, a singer-songwriter, and he said when he first got his gold record, he had a choice between a car, a house, or a new Lego set, and that's what he went for, a big kid at heart, okay? And then they talk about all the different organizations that Lego helps out. It also explains how somebody with autism, okay, in school, and they showed a couple kids in New Jersey, and I know somebody personally who has a kid who suffers from autism, and in the movie shows how this kid actually builds things and helps out. They show your school and the teacher helping a whole fellow students in the class, and they all take turns how to build Lego sets. I thought that was very cool. And then they show you a kid from New York City, father-son story, and this is going on where they're telling other stories. And if the movie connects near the end of the movie, I don't know if anybody remembers, they actually built an actual X-Wing, life-size X-Wing from Star Wars. 44 feet long, 45 feet wide, 11 feet high, millions of bricks. It took like over 17 hours to put it together with a crew of, I don't know, about 50 people. And to show you, and they taped the whole scenario where they actually build it, and it goes real fast, they build. And then at the end, to show you the kid and his father, the kid who has autism, they go to Times Square. That's where they premiered it. This was like 2 years ago. I was in Puerto Rico. I was not here. I would have posted about 1,000 pictures of this. So I'm in Puerto Rico, telling my friends, get up there and take pictures. There's the next wing in Times Square. And my friends, yeah, we'll get to it. We're good. Nobody took anything. But if you want to see all these shots, it's all over the internet. X-Wing fighter, Star Wars. This picture goes over that. It also goes over how they almost crashed at one time. They decided to invest in other kind of like electronic things and little robots with engines, with little motors and everything. That almost sank the company. And then I explained another guy who had some inventions for Lego, and he started his own company. I don't know if you went, I know for a fact, because I've seen this in Barnes & Nobles, architects, all different museums, and built by kind of like Lego pieces. And Lego helped them do that. Okay, so it's really a good documentary, which I recommend. And the last documentary, which is playing on Netflix, talk about music, which I haven't done. What happened, Miss Simone? Okay, it's a documentary about Nina Simone. She was a jazz, soul black artist, a piano player, and she at that time they didn't know why she had all these mood swings. And they discovered she was bipolar. What's interesting about this documentary, a lot of the footage is her herself doing interviews with her daughter, or with her family and friends. But they cover so much material back when she first started in school, and when she first started as an artist. They found a lot of lost footage of her playing back in the cabaret days, all the way to the end, where she finally she flipped out. Okay, but the funny thing is what I like what the filmmakers did was they went almost near the end. And when she said, well, I really didn't like playing no more, and they showed wonderful concert where she was a little bit moody, but she played a show. And the documentary makers decided, let's end the movie here. Okay? About another year or two later, and this is the footage, I think it was very classy, they didn't show this. She did a couple more shows, and the last show she came on, she just yelled at the audience, she didn't play, and she walked right off. And then that's when she was really permanently damaged. But the filmmakers did not end there. They showed her one of her last concerts playing when she was really, she was already, mine was kind of degrading, but she played a really classy performance, and the filmmakers ended it there. I definitely recommend that. It's now playing on Netflix. Okay, another question people said, you used to do a lot of Redbox reviews. I got burnt out. So many bad movies that go on Redbox, I stay with them like the plague. But anyway, I'm gonna be doing some top 10 on my next show on Block Talk Radio starting this week. And the big thing is everybody wants to know who's gonna be singing the next James Bond theme, and they mentioned a lot of names, and I'm going for Sam Jones because everybody knows my favorite themes will be Live and Let Die, The Spy Who Loved Me, You'll Only Live Twice, and of course Skyfall by Adele. Hopefully Sam Jones will do the next theme. That news is going to be on this week, and when that's announced who's going to do the next James Bond theme, I'll be there with Block Talk Radio this week, and you can listen to that. That's a 30-minute show that I do, and that relates to my blog. They both coincide together. I post things, then I do the show and talk about all the things that I post of the news of the week. Everybody, I want to thank all the engineers and in the past couple of years who have been helping us out with this show. Okay. They really, put up the signs and the music and everything like that, and record the shows for us. They've been a great team and really helping us out. And of course, you guys, thank you for watching the show and sticking with me for 25 years. We got a couple more shows, and the last thing is saying we are taking a break. Think of Game of Thrones, 12 episodes for the summer. Okay, then we take a break. There will be repeats for the winter, but there will be a special when James Bond and Star Wars will come up. Okay, I'm your host, Frankie Sun. You've been watching 25 years of Videoland Express. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Hopefully Mark will be with me. Thanks for supporting us. Thanks for watching us. And thanks for tuning in. You guys have been great. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. Two weeks.